Hello everyone, welcome to Parishram Vigyanam. In this video, we will be discussing about Chapter 5, that is Morphology of Flowering Plants. So this will be the part 1. So I will be making subsequent video part by part of this chapter. Likewise, I did in the previous chapters. Alright, so let's start with this. So first of all, let's understand the terminology that is morphology. The chapter name is what? Morphology in flowering plants. So what do you mean by the term morphology? So morphology means the outer appearance, what you can see, the color, the shape and all. Okay, the outer appearance is called morphology, and one more terminology is there, you'll get in next in other chapter, that is called anatomy. Anatomy means the internal structure, the internal, which we can't see. But morphology, that we can see the difference. Okay, so that we'll see the morphological characteristics, means outer appearance, what we can see is morphology. Is it clear? Then it is saying morphology in flowering plants. So what do you mean by this flowering plant? Okay, this flower, especially the flower, this flowering plants means the plant which bears the flower. So flower is basically the reproductive part of a plant, because it contains what? Both male and female, in some both male and female, like in hibiscus both male and female organs are present. Female pistils, male stamen. Okay, so these are the reproductive part, or we can say it is a condensed shoot. Shoot means what? The one which is above ground part. Okay, so it is condensed part of the shoot, we can say. Are you getting? Alright, moving on to the next slide. So let's start with roots first. So in this video, we will discuss about roots only. In the next video, we will come up with stems, then flowers, then leaves, like that. Is it clear? In this video, we are just going to start with the root system. Okay, we'll see the different varieties of root system. So starting with the taproot system. Okay, taproot system. Let's see what is taproot system. Its a primary root is formed by elongation of the radicle, and it bears secondary and tertiary root present in dicot plants. Did you understand what I am trying to say in this definition? Let me pick it up. So suppose this is a seed. This is a dicot seed. This taproot system you can only see in a dicot seed. Dicots means the seed which is having two parts. See this, in this seed it is having two parts. You can separate them into two parts, two compartments. Okay, like in gram. Okay, so in this type of seeds, what happens when they start germinating? Okay, so this part will be called the radicle, from where the roots used to arise, and this part will be called plumule, from which the shoot used to arise. Okay, so from the radicle the root will come up, and first of all it will come up like this. Okay, in the figure which I have shown. So this one will be the primary root, and the one coming out from the primary root is your secondary root. Okay, and small root which are again coming out from the secondary root will be the tertiary root. Are you getting? And roots arise from the radical portion of a seed, and it is found in a dicot plant. Let's again see the definition of it. So it is saying it is having primary root. Primary root is from the main root. The main root is the primary root. Here also one figure is there. Primary root is formed by elongation of the radicle. So here the radical portion is there, from where the radicle will elongate to form the primary root and it bears the secondary root. These are the secondary roots coming out from the primary roots and tertiary roots. And from the secondary roots, again small structure will come up, that is tertiary root will come up from the secondary root, and this can be seen in the dicot plant. Like for example, in grams you can see, in carrot you can see, mustard you can see. Is it clear? The taproot system. Okay. So here I have already explained this portion. Okay. And see dicot seed. It's like two part it is having. Dicot seed. Turnip, beetroot are example of taproot system. Okay. Clear? Then moving on to the next slide. The next root is fibrous type of root. It is found in monocot plants. Like the previous one, it was found in the what? Dicot plant. Okay. So this one is found in monocot plant. A large number of root originate at the base of the stem. So in this case, a large number of root, there is no primary root, no secondary root, no tertiary root here. All the roots arises from the same point. I mean, not from the same point, from the base of the stem. Okay. So they do not have any primary or secondary or like that. It can be seen in rice, wheat, etc. So let me draw this fibrous root. So suppose this is the plant and fibrous root will be like this. Arising, every root is arising from the base of the plant. This is fibrous. And the taproot was, I'm drawing here only. Oh shit. Again I am drawing, sorry for that. Here I will be drawing both fibrous and taproot system. This one is the fibrous root system. And this one is the taproot system. Okay, this one fibrous root, this one is taproot. Okay, this we can see in dicot plant and this one in monocot plant. Okay, here this roots has been divided into primary, then secondary and tertiary, like that. Okay, clear? Okay, then moving on to the next slide. Now the next type of root is adventitious root. Okay, the primary root is not formed from the radicle. So in both the cases, in case of fibrous root and in case of taproots, the roots arises from the radicle. But in case of adventitious root, the roots does not arise from the radicle. They will arise from a different part of the plant. Okay, for example, in grasses, in banyan trees and in maize, you can see the root does not arises from the radicle. Therefore, it is called adventitious root. So, we'll see one picture of it. See, in case of banyan, it is coming out from the, see, from the branches it is coming out. These are root system. In case of banyan, okay, it is not coming out from the radicle. Therefore, it is called adventitious root in banyan. Okay, and let's see in a maize. You can see here, I'll zoom it a little bit. So here see, from this portion the roots are arising. Can you see? Okay, not from the radicle. Okay. Is it clear to you all now? These are the examples of adventitious root system. Okay. So we have seen three different types of root system: taproot system, fibrous root system and adventitious root system. Okay. Then moving on to the next slide. Let's see some functions of root. So what is the function of root? So the first point, it's very easy, that they used to absorb water, minerals from the soil, and they used to transport to different parts of the plant body. Okay, and through xylem it used to transfer. Then anchorage to plant part means attachment. The roots used to it helps to attach the plant with the soil firmly so that it does not fall. Okay. Next is storing reserve food material. Okay, they also act as a storage of food material, reserve food materials. And they also helps in the synthesis of plant growth regulators. Okay, is it clear? These are the 4 main functions of a root. Then moving on to the next slide. So this is a figure showing the root tip region. So it is having 3 regions, that is maturation region, which is having the root hairs, which helps in the absorption of water and minerals from the soil. Then comes the elongation region, which helps in the elongation of the roots. Okay. Then the meristematic region, where this is called the region of cell division, where the cells used to multiply. Okay, and which is protected by the root cap. The root tip is protected by the root cap so that it does not get damaged. Okay. So 3 regions you have to know: maturation region, elongation region, and meristematic region. Okay. Okay, then moving on to the next slide. Let's see some modification of the root. 4 modification we'll see here. So first is modification for storage. Okay, like for example in taproot system you have carrot and turnip. They act as a storage part. Okay, and in case of adventitious root like sweet potato, they act as a storage part. This is the number 1 modification of a root, that is storage. Okay, we can see in both the roots, that is tap roots and adventitious roots, and you have to know the examples also. They are basically used in the edible purpose. Okay, they are edible part. Then moving on to the next slide, the second modification of the root is for the support. Okay, for example, the prop root of the banyan tree, we have seen the banyan tree, how from the branch the roots used to come for the support, so that they firmly attach to the ground to support the plant. Okay, so that root, the one that is hanging root from the banyan tree, is known as the prop root. Okay, that arises from the branches. Okay, understood about the prop root? This is the prop root of the banyan. Okay, then the next root is stilt root of maize and sugarcane, that comes out of the lower stem node, like I have shown you in the corn plant, no? That is called the stilt root, that arises from the lower stem nodes. Okay, so this is a stem, you have nodes like this, so from the lower node the roots used to come out. Okay, this is for the support. So for support we got 2 types of root, that is prop root and stilt root. Okay, then moving on to the next slide, this is a picture showing the prop root system of a banyan tree, that is hanging root for the support, and stilt root you can see in this corn plant. Okay, so from the lower node it is arising, the roots are arising for the support. This is the stilt root and this is the prop root. This you can see in sugar canes also. Is it clear to you all? Then moving on to the next slide. The next modification is for aeration. The third one, aeration. So here the examples are pneumatophores present in the mangrove help them in respiration as it grow in swampy areas. These roots grow upward above the ground. That is, for example, rhizophora. Okay. So in this case, the root system is called pneumatophores, in which they are present in the mangrove, which helps them for the respiration. Means they used to come out from the ground. So can you see in this picture? These are the root system actually, which are coming out from the ground. See, this is a root system which is coming out from the ground. See this one? Root system which is coming out of the ground. This is pneumatophores. Okay, why they used to come out from the ground? Because they are surviving in a swampy areas, means oxygen less areas. So they need oxygen for respiration. Is it not? So they used to come out from the ground. So this is a modification. Okay. So you can see this type of roots in mangrove forest. These are called the pneumatophores. So rhizophoras are one of the example. Understanding this one? For aeration, modification of the root. Then coming to the last modification, that is for nitrogen fixation. For nitrogen fixation, there are some roots which are having nodules. In leguminous plant, you can see. In case of leguminous plant, for example, pea plants are considered as leguminous plant. You can see some nodules like structure. Zoom it a little bit. So can you see in the slide, in the picture, these nodules like structure? Can you see this one? That helps in the nitrogen fixation. These nodules are present in what? In leguminous plant. Understanding? So 4 modification we got. One was for storage, one was for the support, one was for the aeration, and one for the nitrogen fixation. Is it clear? Okay then. So we have completed the root system. So in the next video, I'll come up with the stem. Okay, we'll see the different types and we'll see some characteristics like what we did in the root. We will see the modification of stems and all. Okay, so that thank you for your patient hearing.